So everything is nice when you've got the administration toolbar because you can do anything. However, it's not realistic to think that you're going to expose that level of functionality to all users. What you'll need to do instead is make particular links available to particular roles. For example, if you had a reviewer who needed to add book nodes into the system, you might want them to have access specifically to your Create Book page. You'd find that there's a consistent syntax for reaching add pages for content, node/add/content type. Now, just because they have the link doesn't mean they can access the page. We've got permissions control in. As we've seen, we have an access denied page. And so you would need to make sure that the role for which you'll provide a link has permission to reach the page that you're going to link to, such as the specific add, edit, and delete permissions, in this case, would allow a role to reach the add and edit page for a particular content type. Similarly, the Find Content page is also controlled by permission, the Access the Content Overview page permission. So you'd also want that to be available if you wanted to provide find and edit functionality to a particular user role. So you can expose an arbitrary set of links as a block. As we've seen already, all menus are exposed as blocks. You simply need to position it in an appropriate region. Of course, you could also use a nice menu block for this, but for this upcoming demo, we'll just use a regular block because it's a single level set of links that we're going to expose. You can then take the block and limit it by role so that only appropriate user roles have access to the links for relevant areas of the site. Let's walk through putting this to work. So first, let's just notice that we have a user, Fred Friendly, who's been assigned the reviewer role. And he has no access to the administrative toolbar, but he needs to add books and be able to find books and edit them. So I will switch back into admin mode and go take a look at what these links will be. So the link to add content is node add book. The link to find content is admin/content. So I'm going to create an appropriate menu. I'll go to Structure, Menus, Add Menu, and I'm going to create a Reviewer Links menu. Links for the reviewer role. And then I will add a link to add a book, and that's going to be node add book as a link. And that's going to be assigned to the reviewer links menu. I'll save that. And then I'll add a second link to find content, and that, as we saw, is admin/content to reach that page, and that'll also go on my reviewer links menu. However, just because I've created this menu with these links does not mean that anyone using them would have the appropriate permissions. I have to go set that explicitly. I'll go to People, Permissions, and scroll down to my node permissions. And first, I want to give the reviewer role access to the content overview page. That means that role will be able to reach the Find Content page. Then, because they're going to be creating, editing, and deleting book nodes, I'll give them those permissions. However, I'll give them the edit any and delete any versions so that they could edit and delete other reviewers' books as well. I'll go ahead and scroll down and save those permissions. And now that I have those permissions available, you'd find I could go to my Fred Friendly account and explicitly browse to node add book, which in this case is displaying in the Garland theme rather than the 7 theme because he's not an administrator. Similarly, I could directly browse to admin content when in this role, and find the find content screen. But much easier if we expose this as a block. So I'll go back to my administrative account, go to Structure, Blocks, scroll down, and find my Reviewer Links block that I just created. And I'm going to assign that to the right sidebar region, and I want it to appear at the top of the right sidebar. I'll go ahead and save that change. Then I'm going to go configure my reviewer links so that they are available only to the reviewer role. I'll save that change to my block, go back to the main page, once again masquerade as Fred Friendly, the reviewer, and we now see that he has explicit links to add a book or find content. Click through to add, click through to find content, but of course if I switched back to my administrator, the block is not available, or if I were logged in as a user that does not have the reviewer role, again there is no reviewer links block available.